Andrew, and I like to tinker with things. And this is on the fritz. Now these are LED bulbs, so I'm not sure what's going on, but they aren't pulling that much power. I don't know, 7 watts or something. But there's 3 bulbs here, and it's always this socket. I've switched the bulbs around, it's always this socket. So I'm guessing there's some sort of connection involved. That's the problem. My first step is going to be up here, the junction box, into the ceiling, and just test that connection there. If I need to, we're going to test the 3 branches as well. So this is what the light looked like when we moved in. We took it down, took off the globes, painted it, put it back up. So I know for a fact there's wire nuts up there. And I'm pretty sure I remember the conductors in the fixture are stranded. Mixing stranded and solid with a wire nut, not great. I know it's a wire nut because I did not know about Wago connectors at the time, or Vago. I'm not sure, they might be German. But we're gonna try these, see if that makes a better connection in the junction box, stops the flickering. If it doesn't, I can do more investigating for later down the line, but start with something simple. Hopefully that fixes it. Don't go waste a bunch of effort. I made sure I got ones that are between 20 and 12 gauge, because I'm pretty sure it's 14 gauge in the fixture, and the house is full of 12.3 Romex, so it'll fit both gauges of wire, and it is good for solid and stranded. Where is solid and stranded? So I'm gonna take down that, strip back both wires to the appropriate length, push them into here, put it all back together, see how it looks. All right, so we're down at the electrical panel, and I've put labels on what I know and have worked on before. Don't always trust what someone else left behind, because God knows how correct they were or what changed in the meantime. But I know that number 6 is my kitchen light, so should be safe to work on now. We'll test it when we get up just to be safe. While I'm down here, I'm going to grab the stuff I need to make this repair. That is me trying to switch. No power to the fixture, so let's hop up on my kitchen counter, start taking stuff apart. All right, definitely probably should have filmed this before I turned off the power, but here's my screwdriver set, the Wago walnuts we talked about already, a headlamp so I can see what's going on, pliers. I love these little flat snubby ones. They're great for grabbing wire and bending, twisting it, and some wire strippers and cutters. Probably going to just trim back the existing wire altogether and start fresh rather than try and unfuck what's there. We're going to start with this little set screw here, which will let this whole bell slide down, undo the wire nuts, and undo the screws that are actually holding it to the ceiling, take the whole thing down and have a closer look. I still don't have a tripod, so you're just going to have to trust me that that's how that worked. So here's the connection. The 2 screws that hold it to the ceiling, well, to the box that's screwed to the joists. This is the solid conductor from the house. This is the stranded in the fixture itself. You can see that one is stranded, one is solid. Those are not great to bond with a wire nut. So we're going to trim this back, strip some of the insulation off, and use this push connector. So here we see, again, we got the fixture down. I'm going to clean these, trim these flush, and then strip the new wire back. We want to strip according to the instructions on the walnuts, which says for stranded 13 to 14 mil. So usually these pictures are to scale, so you can just hold the wire to them and strip back that way. So we'll do that next. Yep, still can't do this shit one-handed. I don't know how well you can see that, but I have marked roughly 13, 14 mil on the wire with some Sharpie so that I can strip it accurately. We've got one end stripped, one end not. One thing you want to do is with stranded connectors, definitely check and make sure none of the strands came out in the insulation you just took off. If you remove any of the actual copper, it won't have the capacity for the electricity that it should. Could cause some issues. And while I got this, I'm going to measure, make sure it's roughly stripped correctly, but I'm not going to have the hands to show you that probably. Okay, so definitely a good thing I decided to measure this because this is not to scale. I don't know if I was thinking like my brain said that was 1.3 mil, but no, 13 mil. That's 1.3 centimeters. And that is not 1.3 centimeters. So I need to remeasure and restrip. A little tip, if you're measuring stuff and you can't really see your 0 point very well because of the slidey thing, move up to 10 and then just subtract 10 from everything. Use that 0 instead of that 0. Okay, got everything stripped down. Got my nut, one for each strand. I'm gonna pop these on first because I want to not have to fiddle with the actual cord while I'm up at the ceiling. I want to be able to just put these on down here. And then when I put this into the box, it can take the weight long enough for me to take care of the ceiling ones. I'm gonna pop these on and go strip the ceiling and then put them together. One thing I did just notice is, oh shit, this is upside down. Just a second. There we go. I knew it would be somewhere. You can see here, 13. There's our 13 mil for measuring. I knew there would be some sort of physical reference somewhere. I just didn't realize it was on the nut itself. So don't look at the box, look at the nut. Okay, so I've got the fixture screwed back to the box and the wires connected. Before I do anything else, I'm going to put one bulb in this and go turn the power on. See if it is any better than it was this morning when I couldn't even make breakfast because of the flickering. Alright, so I've reattached the ground to the fixture. So if anything goes funky inside here, the electricity's got a path through this to ground outside, so don't burn the house down. Now, ideally, we'll put these up in the box. We want to keep our connections inside the box just for safety. I don't know if you noticed when I took it down, it was inside the bell here. Probably not technically code, but also this is a metal enclosure just like anything else. So I'm gonna start shoving stuff up in there as best I can and be right back. And then one last thing that isn't strictly necessary, but is a decent idea to do. So just plain rubbing alcohol. I'm going to wipe down all the bulbs, take off all the finger grease and gunk off the top, off the surface of the glass. It's not as big a deal with these LEDs because they don't get very hot because they don't pull much power. But stuff like incandescent bulbs or especially your headlamps in your car, the oils on your fingers can create hot spots on the glass and affect the performance and life of the bulb. So I'm just going to wipe these down and reinstall them, then we'll go turn the power back on. Let's see, I'm using the paper towel. You can use gloves, whatever you've got. If you used my blue nitrile gloves before, just, try not to gunk them back up after I just cleaned them, All right, once more to the basement. I can already tell a massive improvement from an hour ago when I was trying to make eggs for the kids before school. I'm gonna call this a success for now. Keep an eye on it for the next couple days. Hopefully we don't have to redo the internals, because there's a wire coming down here. I'm guessing somewhere in here splits 3 ways. I don't want to have to go futz with that if I don't have to. But this is an old fixture. It was here when we moved in. God knows how long it was here before that. But for now, we're going to call this a qualified success. Hopefully there's not a part 2.